Hi, everybody. Thanks for being a part of this on the YouTube channel. I hope this blesses you. I have a story for you based on something my husband was singing. Now, my husband, Richard, is a singer as well as a preacher, and he was making a decision when he was very young to either become a professional golfer, had the talent, had the opportunity, I mean, really had the talent. And he also had a contract to go to Las Vegas, sing at a big Las Vegas club, a big place, one of the big hotel, whatever they call them, the showrooms. And I'm telling you, when I say he was professional, he knew what he was doing. So when Richard Roberts sings, I tend to listen. And the other day, he was singing a song about he was there all the time. And we began to giggle about it. And I don't know how we got on this subject of stuff that was there all the time. And for some reason, we didn't pay any attention to it. He was talking about people that he knew and all of the stories that were just amazing. Like I said, he was a singer. He sang with Johnny Cash. He sang with Aretha Franklin. He's done some marvelous things. And yet, you know what? Somehow in our minds, we forget about it or we didn't pay attention to it. It was there all the time, but we really weren't paying attention to it. And he began to sing this song. He was there all the time, meaning Jesus, waiting patiently for me. And as soon as he stopped singing it, he said, Lindsay, I wonder how many things are right in front of us. How many miracles are right in front of us? How much anointing is right in front of us, but we don't tap into it when it was there all the time. God, why haven't you sent me this miracle? It was there all the time. God, why haven't you done this for me? It was there all the time. Or God, why haven't you called me to do this? And that calling was there all the time. And you just didn't either pay attention to it, respond to it, or you knew in your heart if you did it, God would bless you, but you just didn't do it. It was there all the time. My husband, when he was younger, did not want to be a preacher. His father, Oral Roberts, was a preacher, and he loved his dad, but the persecution, especially from Christians, that he watched his father go through, it was so horrific that it tainted him from ever wanting to be in the ministry, even though he knew God had called him to sing. He knew God had called him to gospel music. He knew God had called him to preach, but he didn't want to do it. And he had talents in other areas. So it was like easy for him to ignore it because, he's really, really good at other things. So, I'll just slide by with this and God won't notice. But it was there the whole time waiting for him to say, okay. And I think about that, and I began to look up stuff that was there all the time, but we paid no attention to it. How it could have benefited us, but we paid no attention to it. There's a story about a man that took a boat to go from whatever country he was in to come to the New World, and he barely had enough money to pay for the ticket, scraped all his money together, and was able to buy the ticket to go. In order to pay for food, he went ahead knowing he used all of his money. He brought bread and cheese and just enough provision that he thought would get him to the new destination. It didn't. They noticed on the ship that when it came time for food, he'd always hide out in his room. He'd eat his little bit of cheese and his little bit of bread until there was nothing, and really he was starving. And one day he was having a conversation with a man and said, why don't you come to the dinner with us? We miss you. We'd like to fellowship with you. He said, I can't afford the food. And he said, but you're starving. You're not eating. Why? He said, no, I can't afford to come to the man looked at him and said, it's in the price of the ticket. It was there all along. You could have come the entire time because it was already included in the price that was paid. What's already included in the price that Jesus paid? Your calling, your healing, your obedience, your physical healing, your financial healing, your healing in your mind, healing in your soul, healing in salvation, healing in your physical body. What was there already included in the price? Instead of trying to make it on our own and honestly starving ourselves for obedience or whatever, what's been there all along? I began to look at stuff like that, and I was going to do it all scripturally, but I got a giggle out of something else that happened. The FedEx, FedEx, the FedEx or FedEx has an arrow in the center of it, like that it's going somewhere. I never knew that. When I looked at a FedEx box, I never realized there's an arrow in the center of it showing like it's going somewhere. Baskin Robbins is Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. In the middle of the B and the R, there's a 31. Never noticed it. And I've actually gone to Baskin Robbins. I've spent some money in Baskin Robbins. You'd think I'd have noticed it. Never did. In the word Tostito on the chips, do you know that there's two people with like chips and dipping into salsa on the word Tostito? Never noticed anything like that. Did you know at the Bronx Zoo, if you look at the Bronx Zoo, the way the logo is, it is hilarious that in between the Bronx Zoo, it is so cute because there is a picture when you put the shapes together, how it has something inside of it that has animals, and you never looked at it, never saw it that way. It was there all along. Do you realize that healing was there all along? Since more than 2,000 years ago when Jesus went to the cross. Salvation was there all along, waiting for you to get saved. And you might think, well, I can't get saved because of this. But no, the minute Jesus went to the cross, the Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. It was there all along. The song says he was there all along waiting patiently for you. What is it that's waiting for you? Is it a new job opportunity? Is it a family? Is it an opportunity for answering your calling? Is it an opportunity to sing somewhere? Is it an opportunity to, write a book? Is it an opportunity to do something that you've waited and waited and waited to do, but you thought it'd never come to pass, when actually the opportunity has been there all along? One of my more unusual stories that part of it I want to laugh and part of it I want to cry when I think about it has to do with my father-in-law, Oral Roberts. When he got saved and healed of tuberculosis, he began to preach at about 19 years old. And he would go out anywhere anyone would have him. Now, you have to understand that back in those days, they called it an itinerant preacher, meaning he had an itinerary and he'd go from place to place to place and preach for a very small amount of money here and a small amount of money there. He went to this one place where they had called for Brother Roberts. Now, think about that in Christianity. Sister Lindsay, Brother Oral, Brother Roberts, that was a kind of a mark of respect, so to speak, or even saying you're part of our family, Brother Roberts. Sister Lindsay, you're part of the family of God. So he got an invitation to go preach entitled Dear Brother Roberts. I can giggle now because he's in heaven and it's okay to giggle. But when Brother Roberts showed up, they said, we don't want you. Who are you? And he said, I'm Brother Roberts. You're not Brother Roberts. I'm Oral Roberts. I'm Brother Roberts. They said, we want Ellis Melvin. He said, Ellis is my father. And they said, we don't know who you are, but whoever you are, we don't want you. You're not welcome here. And they made him leave because he wasn't Papa Roberts. They sent Oral Roberts out from a meeting to pray for the sick. Go figure. Oral Roberts may have been maybe the premier healing evangelist of all time that I was aware. And, they're up-and-coming evangelists now, healing evangelists like Precious Benny Hinn and like so many other ones. But at that time, Oral Roberts was the only one that I knew of. Of course, there are other ones, but he was the only one that I knew of. But can you imagine? They had Oral Roberts coming to their healing meeting and kicked him out because we don't know who you are. We didn't want you. We wanted Papa Roberts. Oral Roberts went to their healing meeting and they kicked him out because they didn't know who he was. How many times have we kicked Jesus out of our circle? Have we kicked Jesus out of our prayer meetings? Yeah, I said that. How many times have we kicked Jesus out of the thought process of should I take this job or that job? How many times have we kicked Jesus out of where he wants us to go or who he wants us to be with or what he wants us to do? He was there all along waiting patiently. I'll tell you this much. If I could hit the reset button and go back and redo, I don't know how many redos I would redo, and it would fill volumes. Because we're human, we make mistakes. But you know what? There's an interesting story about David that he said, shall I pursue or shall I retreat? David, King David, the man after God's own heart, should I pursue or should I retreat? Can you imagine a prayer more simple? Should I go forward or should I not do this? Do it, don't do it. But David, King David, the man after God's own heart, had enough sense about him to ask God. David inquired of the Lord, should I go? Should I stay? Should I back up? Should I go forward? How many things could we do differently if we just take the time to inquire of the Lord? He was there all along. Just like the FedEx sign. I'm sure that arrow had been there the whole time. Never saw it. Just like some of these things that I looked up, the zoo, all these different logos, the Tostitos. I had no idea that there are two people holding a chip about to put in salsa. No clue. No idea. But it was there all along. I believe God has so much for us. And if you're struggling, maybe you're struggling in your finances, maybe you're struggling in your calling, maybe you're struggling in your thinking, maybe you're struggling and you don't even know why you're struggling. He's been there all along. If we just do David's simple prayer, he inquired of the Lord, shall we pursue or shall we retreat? I believe with my whole soul, I believe with every fiber of my being, God will give us directions. I have to use Siri and I have to use those MapQuest-y things. And believe me, I've used a MapQuest one time and I ended up on the end of a road. Then the end of the road ended and I ended up on the gravel, and then the gravel ended. And then there was only grass at the end of the road and a bunch of raccoons. I'm not kidding. A bunch of raccoons. I had no idea where I was. It was dark out. My lights were shining from the car on the raccoons. And I'm telling you, I believe this with my whole heart. The raccoons were staring at me like I was stupid. I'm telling you, when I looked at those raccoons, I felt stupid. And it was as though the raccoons were saying, you got GPS, lady. How come you can't find your way? I had to reset the whole thing. And you know what it said? Recalibrating, recalculating. Turn the car around. It's giving me instructions the whole time. And I still managed to get to where nothing but dirt and raccoons were. We can make mistakes, even when we think we're following the right road. But you know what? Let's inquire of the Lord. Whatever it is that you need help with today, I just want to say it very simply. Inquire of the Lord. Very simply. Inquire of the Lord. Shall I pursue? Shall I retreat? If it's about a relationship, if it's about a job, if it's about your finances, shall I pursue? Shall I retreat? And I believe with every fiber of my soul, He's there all along, waiting patiently for you. Inquire of the Lord and watch what happens. Thanks for watching today. I hope you join me again. I hope this has been a blessing, and I pray you make the right decisions when you inquire of the Lord. Bye-bye for now.